Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. Today we're Starforcing one scroll to work, so how bad can that be? Oh, possible, right? Is there a thing called negative luck?
If you have come here from the previous episode, I would like to start off with a thank you. I'm very grateful for anybody showing any interest in the series. The theme of today's videos is lies. Lies that we tell ourselves and that Nexon has us tell ourselves. Let's go down the list. 1 stars with less attempts than before. However, Nexon has also made sure to generally balance out the numbers, the costs per trial, such that for the most part, players will not be spending that much less money as before. That was a lie. In this video, as far as lies are concerned, anything that is wrong will be considered as a lie for dramatic effect. This statement is a lie because it runs on the assumption that the prior lower costs between 11 to 15 stars and the higher costs between 16 to 21 stars would have produced a more forgiving cost distribution curve, or in other words, result in more players generally having to spend less to obtain 21 stars. Reality disagrees. Simulation 1 here is using the original set of prices that Nexon currently has implemented post the Starforce changes, and Simulation 2 is the Starforce changes with the previous prices, where 11 to 15 are less expensive and 15 onwards is more expensive. It isn't actually entirely false that the peak of the new distribution, being the blue one, does show a slight increase in what you could perceive as the median expenditure to obtain a 21 star 200 level item in this game. However, generally speaking, the price changes are entirely what caused the change in curve here, and generally speaking, the width of this distribution has shrunk. Let's preface this next section by asking a question. In an enhancement system, would you rather fall a level when you fail a trial, or have the potential of destroying the item and falling to a predetermined lower level? In this game's case, it's called booming. Which do you think would cost you less? Yes, we can acknowledge that for certain items, booming something is an absolute no-go and therefore could be seen as an infinite cost. But aside from the rarity of the item, the actual enhancement cost of going through this gauntlet of trials is something worth considering. Once you're ready, unpause this video and we will simulate this together. As you can see here, as a recap, remember that as of recently in August 2022, the levels between 10 to 15 star now no longer cause a drop, and they also do not boom. Both the starter pack is actually as such over here. So it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 15 that is. Now for a no boom scenario but with drops, as usual, I would have the following, which is a very simple case of 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 to 21 stars. All of these boom trials here, all the boom components of these trials have been removed. On the flip side, if we look here again, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is the same as before, because the baseline that we get to enjoy already has so many of these effects removed. They don't drop and they don't boom. But 15 onwards, we have all the booms as usual. However, while it might be a little tricky to take note of, before what we used to have was these boom stages as well, and it's almost identical to this one here. However, the T's have been removed because these stages, while they can cause booms, they will not cause you to fall like they do currently. So you have purely boom stages. Simulating these side by side will allow us to quantify the differences between the two hypothetical scenarios. The first of which being there being no booms, and the second one being there being no drops. Some detractors might try to say that, but Dre, Suck Hard's calculator has a plot showing booms. Well, we got that too now. I went back into the codebase and made sure to replicate that so that we could have another point of comparison. In hindsight, I should have made it quite a bit earlier. As we look through a replication of these results for 10 million samples as opposed to 1 million, let's just very curtly drive this point home. It is very clear that the driving force between all the factors thus discussed, the driving force for the cost of these gauntlets of trials that MapleStory players put themselves through is not that their items get boomed. Notwithstanding the cost of replacing very hard to replace items, the bulk of the cost associated with Starforce is the fact that upon failure, you fall to previous trials. It sneaks under a lot of people's noses, frankly, but most MMOs do not have this practice in their enchantment systems. MapleStory's current enhancement system can be used as a baseline to compare against our two hypothetical situations. The first one being that booms do not exist, and the second one being that drops do not exist. As always, all results are for level 200 equipment in MapleStory, the equivalent of arcanes for a 1 million sample size. And now onto the scenario where drops do not exist. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." And in my opinion, it is interesting to note that in a similar fashion, if you were to hypothetically vote against booms existing, you would just get booms removed and get very little returns in terms of cost savings. Whereas, if you were to fight for trials to not drop, you would actually get both. While not a focal point of the video, let's quickly have a look at the difference between these two hypothetical situations without MapleStory's pity system. In MapleStory's Starforce, if you fail 2 unique trials consecutively, you get a free 100% success following that. All simulation results pertain to level 200 items. The cost has been in millions, and this is for a sample size of 1 million. In summary, if you want to decrease the enhancement costs of Starforce, the level of commitment that Starforce requires from its players, ask for a removal of the fact that trials drop you to previous levels as opposed to booms. Supposing that you were in a hypothetical scenario where you had leverage, but only just enough leverage to ask for one thing.